Remember, whatever the program is in our subconscious mind is much like what a program would be in a computer. And just like a computer, a program in the subconscious mind is what actually comes to bear in our conscious level lives. Beliefs create our reality. Once we have established our beliefs, they become part of our subconscious. Our subconscious mind does not like to have its belief systems challenged. It is likely that you will experience this challenge in this course as you are taught the process of mental photography. It is almost automatic that this will take place. What would be the reaction to the challenges of our belief systems? Well, when a person's belief system is challenged, there is a tendency to go through a series of reactions. The first one is disbelief. Normally, when the person first hears about this process, and in particular mental photography, their belief systems are challenged instantly because their conscious, logical brain tells them, I cannot do that. That just cannot be done. And because our conscious, logical brain is also where our ego lies, it translates to, if I can't do it, nobody can. Now, once you hear some more information about this, or you've talked to some people who have gone through it, or looked at a website, or whatever it might have been to get more information about this process, your conscious, logical brain usually backs off a little bit and says, it sounds like this can be done, but I'm not sure yet whether I can do it. However, on the chance that I can do it, I better get involved. I cannot miss out on this because this is something that can benefit me for the rest of my life. Another thing that happens to our belief systems when they are challenged is we go through frustration. You may experience frustration when you start turning pages of books at the rate of 2 pages per second. You may be frustrated initially because you are not used to doing that, and you will grab handfuls of pages. You might miss pages, or pages might bend over on you, but be assured you will have some problems in turning the pages. Frustration in turning pages is natural. Do not get discouraged. You are on the right track. You may even go through a rejection. Is this ever going to work for me? Am I ever going to be able to turn these pages smoothly and easily? But that emotion usually passes as you just use the process. You will come to a resignation stage. You will know, in fact, that this can be done. The next stage is acceptance. You will know, I can do this. I have seen myself doing it. I understand how to do it. And so it has become something that I can truly, truly accept. Then you will be ready for another stage, and that is, you need to use the brain management training. Use it over a long enough period of time, at least 4 weeks on a regular basis, so that it becomes natural and automatic and a habit. At that point, you no longer have to think about the mechanics of doing the exercises. It becomes an automatic part of your day. You simply can fit it right in. It is like putting on your shoes or your clothes in the morning. You do it every day. It's automatic. You just don't think about doing it. There is no longer any frustration or anxiety or concern over it at all. The benefits then become enormous and consistent.
Now, let's find out more about mental photography. Please follow along and listen while Richard explains the difference between mental photography and other types of reading. He will be referring to the mental photography comparison chart and the learning curve chart.
The use of mental photography will allow you to keep up with today's world. The world is accelerating at a fast pace, and we are going through exponential growth. In 1995, more new information became available to us than in the previous history of mankind. When we think about that, we know there is no logical way that we can keep up with the new information that we are being exposed to through reading. It is too time-consuming. We do not get it the first time we read it. We have to read things over and over and over again to hopefully grasp and understand the information a little better. We do not have the time to do that. It has become a physical impossibility to keep up with our own studies, to keep up with our own occupations, let alone read anything else we might need to read or want to read. Look at how we use our conscious and our subconscious when we read and when we mentally photograph. There are 3 basic categories I will compare: traditional or conventional reading, speed reading, and mental photography. Look at the chart entitled Mental Photography Comparison Chart in your student workbook. You can see immediately that there are definite differences between these 3 categories. Let us start with traditional reading. First of all, when we read conventionally or traditionally, we are taught to read every single word. What do I mean by that? When we go to school, we are taught to focus on each word, and as we focus on each word, we are then told that we need to say that word. Initially, we say the words out loud in the class as we read. Then our teacher comes to the class one day and says, "Now, students, I would like you to all read to yourself." The only thing that changes from that point on for the rest of our lives is that we say the words inwardly to ourselves. We talk the words inwardly to ourselves or sub-vocalize the words. This is a physical phenomena that can sometimes be seen as we observe a person when they are reading. Their lips may move as they are saying the words to themselves. Reading requires 2 specific things. We must focus on the words, each individual word, and we must talk each individual word. As long as we are doing that, talking the words, we are giving ourselves a definite physical limitation as to how fast we will ever be able to read. According to the Guinness Book of World Records, the world's fastest talker talks at a little over 600 words per minute. None of us talk or read anywhere near that speed. As a matter of fact, as the chart points out, the average reading speed is about 250 words per minute. Likewise, the average talking speed is around 250 words per minute. What does 250 words per minute represent? The average page of print has somewhere between 300 and 350 words on it, so you are actually reading at less than a page per minute. Now look at the comprehension. Remember, these are National Education Association statistics from the United States. This chart shows that when we read something and then take a test on what we have read, the average comprehension is only 50%. We have already forgotten 50% of what we have read by the time we complete reading it through one time. Why? Why do we have such poor comprehension with reading? Again, once we understand how our brain functions, we understand this statistic. We're using a short-term memory function of our brain when we read. We do not get it into long-term memory. Consequently, it is very short-term. As we can see, we have lost 50% or forgotten 50% of the information by the time we even complete reading it. What is even more remarkable is that within 2 days, within 48 hours after reading something through one time, we lose 90% of the 50% we got originally. So we are actually only retaining about 5% of what we read beyond 48 hours. Scientifically speaking, the brain is divided into 5 brain systems. In the dicephalon system of the brain is the organ called the hippocampus. The hippocampus stores the short-term memory of what we read, until these memories are transferred to the cortex or long-term memory.